Well, guys, we had a nice green day in the stock market today. We're going to be breaking that down in this video. We're going to go over the S&P 500. We're going to talk about the NASDAQ. We're going to break down some earnings, including JWM, which is Nordstrom, Best Buy, Dollar Tree, Dick's Sporting Goods. And, of course, we're going to go over what I'm doing, what I'm looking out for here in the market. So sit back, relax, take a sip of your water, hit that like button, and, of course, feel free to subscribe if you guys find value. And with that being said, let's get into the video. So like I said, we had an awesome green day in the markets. You guys can see we had the S&P 500 close up 1.4%. Same with the NASDAQ. Actually, the NASDAQ went up more like 1.5% as the Russell went up 1.2%, and we had the Dow up roughly 1.2% as well as the VIX went down 5%. So the VIX keeps on getting hit, guys, and we had gold up barely, but it did have a 0.1% green day as silver went up over 1%. So let's actually pull up the VIX chart to start off this video. Then we'll talk about the S&P, the NASDAQ, and then we'll take a look at crypto as well. It's been a couple of days since we've looked at the crypto chart. So VIX right now, again, went down 5% on the day. It's down to about 21 points, which over the past couple of weeks, now the VIX is down from 35 to again, 21. That's down about 40%. So the VIX has gotten destroyed, and now we're getting awfully close to those lows, or the low of the VIX, which was hit from in the middle of August. The low back then was 19. We're pretty much right there, guys. And at this point, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not getting nervous in terms of, we're gonna get a dump or something like that in the overall markets, but it's, something in the back of my mind that I'm like, okay, the VIX is getting to a point now where over the past year and a half, it's been historically, I guess over the past 3 years, historically when it's gone down to these levels, it's kind of been the bottom on the VIX. So in other words, I mean, sure, we could go down a little bit more, but at some point we are going to get that volatility spike. We're going to get a bit of a sell-off in the markets, and who knows, is the VIX going to go all the way back to 35, or is it going to spike back to the mid-20s and then fade back down to, let's say, 21 or maybe even under that, right? So it's something that obviously we have no idea what's going to happen. We can't predict, but we can look at the previous price action here, or not even price, the action on the chart, which shows, 35 to 40 has been the peak roughly, and 20 to 15 has been, the bottom on the VIX over the past couple of years. And of course, we had that one time where it ran all the way to 85. That was during the COVID crash. But other than that, it's been playing in that range that I mentioned. So I'm not freaking out about it. And oops, you guys didn't even see what I was talking about the whole time. But you know what I mean, right? Let me make my face a little bit smaller. I'm not freaking out about it, but it's something worth mentioning. You guys got to watch it. I'm for sure watching it right now. So if I pull up SPY, let's take a look at that. We can see here on the 4-hour chart, this is starting to break above the highs, from the past couple of days, which is great. We closed right under 400, which was the high from the middle of this month, right around the 15th, 16th, also, the 10th, 11th of the month. So 400 breaks on SPY. Like I said in my last video, guys, we're probably going to start running to 403.50, which I believe is going to break ultimately, which was the high from the 15th. And if that were to break, let's say it does, who knows, right? But I think it will. And let's say if it does, from there we could start pushing 410, maybe even a little bit higher than that, towards the top of the channel that you all can see here on the 4-hour chart. Let me zoom in a little bit. You know what I mean? You guys can see that if we do break, we could start running to the highs from the middle of September. So SPY looks pretty good, and QQQ on the flip side had a good day as well, but it's not looking as good as SPY is. But the fact that it closed above 285 is good. That's fantastic. The fact that we did actually break out of the highs here from yesterday, it looks like, yep, we did that at the end of the day. That's great. And the highs from yesterday were right around 284.50, and we closed almost at 286, so that's a good break there. So let's see what we do tomorrow and for the rest of this week, next week in general too, guys. Let's see what we do at about 288 on QQQ. That's going to be a big spot. You can see here on the 20-day, that's been a resistance for quite quite. I was gonna say quite some time, like it's been years. It's just been a couple of days, guys. Other than that one-off rally, we got to 295, 288, 290 has been the sticking point. So let's see if we can break out of there, maybe make a push to 300, and let's see what oil did today. Last I saw, oil was at 80 a barrel. Yep, it's at 81 a barrel. It's not doing much of anything. It's only up about 1%, 1.5%. That's a pretty good day for oil, and it's still in a downtrend. So don't get too excited just because it's having a green day. It's still in a downtrend, guys, and by the looks of it, we have a death cross. We're under the moving averages here on the 4-hour chart. This does not look that good, and we're not seeing any signs of a reversal quite yet. In fact, if we pull up the 5-day chart, you can see, and on the intraday, maybe you can see it even better. We kind of peaked out earlier today at 82 bucks. Then we tried to rerun above that or retest that, break out of it. We failed. You guys can see here, clear lower high was put in on oil. Then at that point, it started tanking. That was at about 2 p.m. on the East Coast. And then from that point, it's kind of been consolidating. But now what we're seeing, if I clear this set, again, this is on the intraday chart, we are seeing a head and shoulders forming, right? You guys see that? This does not look good. I feel like oil could be making a plunge back under 80 a barrel, at least in the short term. Maybe back down to that 75, 77, level. That's where I feel like this could be going. So what do you guys think? And the crazy thing is, if we're looking at stocks today, everything was green for the most part. And a lot of these energy stocks crushed it. XLE, which I personally own, this is an energy ETF. If I pull it up, you're going to see it. This had a 3.1% green day. It's about to test the mid-90s high that we hit a couple days ago, and I think, quite frankly, it's going to break that. I think this could be going to $100, a share, in my personal opinion. We had stocks like ExxonMobil have a 3% green day today. CVX had almost a 3% green day today. So these stocks are doing very, very well in the short term. And before we get carried away with all of these stocks, guys, let's dive into Webull and take a quick look, take a quick glance at what's going on with the crypto market. So right here we see this is Webull again, and mind you guys, if you want some free stocks, they're linked down below. The link's down below. You get 12 stocks with any amount deposited for this platform. So what we're noticing here is Bitcoin is at 16,000 a coin right now, and what we're noticing is this coin, Bitcoin, the crypto market in general, participated in the rally today. That's a good sign for crypto in the short term. This went up 2% on the day, about 322 bucks. Ethereum went up. Let's see here. It's currently up. It never closes, so it's always up or down something, right? It's not like the stock market where it closes, and maybe one day the stock market will never close. Would you guys like that? I don't know. Personally, I kind of like it the way it is now. If it was nonstop, that would be pretty intense. It probably would make for better YouTube content and content in general. But the fact that it'd be nonstop would be maybe it'd get exhausting at some point. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see if it ever gets to that point. Let me know in the comments. Would you want the stock market to be 24/7? Or do you like it the way it is now? Ethereum's up 1.7%. Not too bad. About 18 bucks up per coin here. Let's see what good old Dogecoin is doing. Dogecoin's up almost 5%, up about 0.003 cents here. However, friggin', whatever that is. It's up 5% on the day roughly. And what we're noticing, guys, across the board here with these different coins is we're just getting a little teeny tiny relief rally. That's all this is. On the hourly chart, you guys can see that on Doge. You can see it on Bitcoin. If I go back to Bitcoin, it just hit 15.4. That was yesterday or earlier today, whenever the heck that was. This is just seeing a bit of a rally, relief rally. And to be honest, if I'm being honest with you guys, looking at this, sellers are already coming in. Don't you see? The past couple hours here, Bitcoin's been struggling to break that 16, 16.1, 16.2 level. Same thing here on Ethereum. So I feel like, I don't think we're going to get crazy buying pressure through these points right now. There's just no reason why we would, unless we just got an overall big, market rally. Let's say SPY, NASDAQ, let's say we have a crazy run in December. All right, maybe at that point, fine. Ethereum, Bitcoin, they might participate. Who knows? But, if we do just stay flat heading throughout the rest of the year, who knows what other crypto bombs are going to be thrown at us. I feel like these are, very vulnerable to more downside. I mean, again, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, these charts do not look good whatsoever, at least in my opinion. And of course, I'd love to know all your thoughts down below in the comment section as always. So I guess that's pretty much all I have to say right now on crypto. And again, if you want your 12 stocks from Webull with any amount deposited, use that link down below or go to stocksurfest.com/Webull, deposit any amount of money and you get 12 stocks. It also helps out the channel. I appreciate you guys as always. So let's take a look right now at some companies. We had JWN report, and fun fact, it's currently 4:22 p.m. I have not looked at their earnings yet. So let's see exactly together here what's going on and if the stock is mooning or if it's tanking or what the heck is going on. So they ended up, so they closed at 22.65. They ran up to 23.70. Now they're down at 21.80. So they are down right now about 4% after the bell. So let's see what's going on here. They ended up doing, where is it here? Adjusted EPS of 20 cents, which beat the 14-cent estimate on revenue of $3.5 billion versus the $3.48 billion estimate. So they beat EPS, beat revenue, and they see full year 23 adjusted EBIT, not the EBITDA, EBIT margin 4.3 to 4.7%, and they back, what is that? Or they cut their full year 22 view to EPS from, I don't know what it was, but they cut it to 213 to 245. They backed guidance for 5 to 7% revenue growth in full year 22. So the stock is selling off on this earnings report. Again, it's down about 90 cents here in the aftermarket, and it's kind of too early to see or really to gauge exactly what the direction is going to be looking like. I mean, we're going to need tomorrow's price action and, maybe another, 20, 30 minutes here in the aftermarket. Maybe we'll get more guidance or more insight during the earnings call, which, excuse me, guys, has not begun yet. But at this point, the inverse head and shoulders still stands like we covered in my earlier video. We're above the moving averages still. This looks like it could still play out. Again, the earnings just came out. The stock's digesting them. And it's one of those stocks that's very volatile. So if you think, it's down a little bit now, the stock's toast, don't think that. In 20, 30 minutes, it could be up way more, but also it could be down a lot more. It depends on this earnings call. We'll see how it ends up playing out and how the next, couple days end up playing out. So I'm not sure if you guys saw, but we had Best Buy report earnings this morning, and man, oh man, did that stock do well today. The stock went up 13%, closed just under a hair under $80 a share. You guys can see that. And it went up $9 on the day. Unbelievable. So if I come down here a little bit, we can see they ended up doing, where the heck's the number here, guys? There's so many freaking lines here. Where is it? Here we go. They ended up doing $1.38 in EPS versus $1.03, so they crushed that. And sales also beat $10.59 billion versus $10.31 billion estimated. And Q3 same-store sales came down. They came in down 10.4%. The estimate was down about 13%, so that was good. That was above the estimate. What else here? Let's see. They resumed their share repurchases. All right, that's good. What else? Anything here on guidance? That really might be it, to be honest. Is there anything on... here we go. They revised their full year 23 same-store sales outlook down to down 10% from down 11%. All right, not too bad. And they see... yeah, pretty much that's it. So at this point, 11% or 12, almost 13% Green Day for Best Buy. And look at this. We took the highs out from last week at about, or was that the week before? Either way, we took the highs out at about $77. No problem. We did that. And we also broke the highs here from the middle of September where Best Buy got to about $78-ish. So this is good. I mean, this is right on the brinks of a full-on breakout. I mean, it's already breaking out, don't get me wrong. But if this takes out 80, man, we could be going mid-high 80s, no problem on Best Buy stock. And sure, it's overbought in the short term. We might see a little bit of, consolidation, choppiness. The dust might settle a little bit here. But overall, I mean, if this thing breaks 80, whether it be next week, a couple weeks, this could be going, again, mid-high 80s. The highs here from August, that's where this could be running, in my opinion. So the next one I'm looking at is Dollar Tree, which I'm not sure if you guys caught it. They also reported earnings this morning, and they went down 8% on the day. Freaking disaster for Dollar Tree. So let's bring up these earnings. They did $1.20 in EPS, which barely beat the $1.18 estimate, and sales beat as well, $6.94 billion versus $6.84 billion estimated. So double beat there for Dollar Tree. And let's see here. They raised their full year revenue guidance from 27.85 to 28.1 billion to about 28.14 to 28.28. So that's good. They raised their full year 22 guidance. Let's see here. Q3 same-store sales were up 6.5%. The estimate was up 4.6%. Anything else here that's worthy of mentioning? They see Q4 net sales of 7.45 or 54 rather to 7.68 versus 7.52 billion. So the earnings are not that bad. I mean, the guidance is pretty decent. The stock is just, maybe it was priced to perfection. I mean, it ran up a ton heading into these earnings in the past couple of weeks. Dollar Tree it went from $138 to what? 170. That's a 25% move. So it was kind of priced to perfection. Earnings weren't as great as expected, maybe. And to be honest, if we look at this 4-hour chart, where has the stock failed time and time again? At 170, at 175. And these earnings were just not good enough to get Dollar Tree out of that resistance, to push it through. We sold off. Now we're in the 150s, just like that, $12, $13, red day. So we'll see, if buyers come in here, which it already seems like they are. Looks like we did get some good consolidation, if I could pronounce the words today, guys, throughout the majority of the day today. And honestly, the big chunk, a lot of the sell-off came in the pre-market. Mind you, guys, keep that in mind. And we really ran up throughout the majority of the day. I mean, we bottomed at 147. That was at 10:30 a.m. on the East Coast, and then we ran all the way to 152. So intraday, this did go up about 3% over the past or the last 5-6 hours of the day. So not too bad for Dollar Tree. Now we have to wait and see. Going back to the 4-hour chart, are we gonna really start taking out 155? This is going to be a big resistance. 154. You guys see that? That was the low from the 9th of November. If we start breaking out of there, we might start getting that push, but we'll see. I'm not going to rush it. We'll let the dust settle after earnings. I'm not getting too excited about it or too antsy about it, right? So let's see what Dick's Sporting Goods ended up doing. This stock crushed it today as well, similar to what we saw with Best Buy. This stock went up 10% on the day. Let me pull these numbers up, guys. Give me a second. And by the way, if you guys are finding value, hit that like button. You could also get $10 plus up to 15 stocks for Moo. All you got to do is use that link down below. Deposit at least $100, and again, you get a $10 cash coupon plus up to 15 stocks, each up to $2,000. So they ended up doing $2.60 in EPS versus $2.19 estimated, and sales came in at $2.96 billion versus $2.68. So they beat EPS and they beat on sales, and it looks like they raised their full year 22 adjusted EPS outlook. Same thing on revenue. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything on revenue, but Q3 same-store sales were up 6.5%. The estimate had them down 2.2%, so that is a pretty nice surprise there for Dick's Sporting Goods. And if we just look at the chart, guys, I mean, I've said this before, I'll say it again, this chart looks pretty good to me. I mean, we have an inverse head and shoulders here, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, boom. 120 is right there. I mean, we're at 118 now. I was talking to you guys about this a couple of days ago when it was at like 105. We're pretty much at the point now at 120 where we failed for about almost a year. Yeah, pretty much a year. The stocks failed at this point. So if we clear 120, I'm telling you guys, there's going to be some room to run, in my opinion. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know the future. I don't know what's going to happen. For all we know, Dick's Sporting Goods could go bankrupt tomorrow. But I think the chart looks good, above 120, for a move into the 130s, maybe even beyond. So that's a little rundown on Dick's Sporting Goods and really earnings. I mean, that was it, right? We had JWM, Best Buy, Dollar Tree, Dick's Sporting Goods. That's 4 companies. And to kind of wrap the video up with a couple other ones I want to look at, Ford is one that is on the brinks of breaking out. It's arguably already breaking out on the 4-hour chart. Well, maybe not yet. It's on the brinks, though. Look at this. We're above the moving averages on Ford, right? We're now about to test the highs here from the end of May, early June, being about $14. You guys see that right here? If we break 14, which I guess we closed above it, so maybe not 14. Let's say we break, I guess it looks like, oh, wait, we're already above the highs from the beginning of June. Okay, good. So now if we retake the highs from last week, the week before that, about 1450, 1460, this could really start running. And by the looks of it, I mean, buyers are coming in here. We had a 0.9% green day, not too bad. We're holding nicely above the 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart. Let's see if we do get that leg up, though. That is what we're waiting for, the leg up to the highs from earlier this month. Then if that were to break, I just set my alert at 1450. That's where we could get the legitimate next leg up towards that $15, $16 mark where we were a couple months ago. So Ford, I don't think it's going to go back to the 20s or anything crazy like that, right now. But, could it go back to 15, 16 in the short term as a nice little, short-term trade? I personally think that it could. JP Morgan is another one that I'm looking at, which had a 1.5% green day today. And look at that. Buying pressure is clearly coming in here above the highs from a couple months ago. Do you guys recall? I talked about this a couple of videos ago. JP Morgan, the high from back in June was $132. Well, guess what? We ran off that high today. We bounced off the 50 SMA, right around that same point. And now if this takes out 136-ish, which is the high from, earlier this month, this thing's going to fly probably. It's probably going to see a lot more upside, at least in my opinion. 136 breaks on JP Morgan. I mean, look at this. 140s, 140, 145. Hello, it could be right here, right around the corner, right? So I like JP Morgan. I like Ford. VICI Properties is another one that I talked about on my Patreon morning video today, and it actually is playing out. Like we talked about, we called this out, this ascending triangle, and it's breaking out. I mean, look at this. And I think there could be more upside, which is why I'm mentioning it here on the YouTube video, right? We can see over the past couple of days, $33 has been a big sticking point. Well, we broke out of there. Really, it's been the entire month. We broke out. Now we're starting to go, we're starting to play within, probably up to the mid-30s, maybe, back to that high from a couple months ago. And another thing worth mentioning here on VICI, which kind of played out as the day today progressed, we can see kind of a lopsided inverse head and shoulders. You guys see that? We have the left shoulder right there. We got the head right here. We got the right shoulder. You guys kind of see that. It's a little bit lopsided, but it is there nonetheless. So this could really play out, in my opinion, towards the mid-30s. I mean, we're already technically in the mid-30s, but mid-high 30s is where I think this could be going. And full disclosure, guys, I don't own any of these stocks but VICI, this one right here, which is actually a REIT. It's a real estate investment trust. We're not going to get into it in this video, but it's one that you guys got to watch. I've owned it for this entire year, and it's actually helped my real estate portfolio, which I've also mentioned here on the on the channel. It's helped my real estate portfolio beat the market, which is solid. This year the market's gotten destroyed. If you're getting a positive return, which I think last I checked, I think I was up 0.25% on the year, on this portfolio, on my real estate portfolio, thanks to VICI, because I was buying this thing in the mid-20s, high 20s, and now it's at 33 and it spits out a dividend. I've been reinvesting it. So this one's been good. And now as a trade, it looks like it's starting to break out. So, yeah, this is the only one that I own out of the bunch as of now. But who knows? As a trade, I could be buying some of the other ones that we mentioned. So, with that being said, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe. And did you know I have a second channel, Stocks Money? Yeah, make sure to subscribe to that as well. Link down below. Check out my Patreon as well and get your free stocks from Moomoo and from Webull. All the details are in the description box. And with that being said, cheers, guys. Have a great rest of your night. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.